Let us discuss the next question. This is from the year 2024. With reference to Parliament of India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Prorogation of a House by the President of India does not require the advice of the Council of Ministers. Statement 2. Prorogation of the House is generally done after the House is adjourned sine die, but there is no bar on the President prorogating the House which is in session. Statement 3. Dissolution of the Lok Sabha is done by the President of India who, save except in exceptional circumstances, does so on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Which of the following statements are correct? Now coming to statement number 1. The prorogation of the House is done by the President of India, and the statement says it does not require the advice of the Council of Ministers. No, the prorogation is done by the President but based on the advice of the Council of Ministers. So because the statement is saying it does not require the advice, this statement is incorrect. Statement 2. The prorogation is generally done after the adjournment sine die, but there is nothing which is stopping the President from prorogating the House even when the House is in session. So this is correct. Dissolution of the Lok Sabha is done by the President on the advice of the Council of Ministers. So this statement is also correct. So the correct answer will be 2 and 3, which is C, 2 and 3 only. Now let us look at the in-depth explanation. Now how is the prorogation done? Prorogation is done by the President through a notification, and the President can also prorogue the House while it is in session. And what is the impact of it? It will terminate the sitting and session of the House. The impact on the bills is it does not have any impact on the bills or any other business which is pending before the House. But whatever are the pending notices, when it comes to the notices, all those notices will lapse except those notices which are there for introducing the bills. And once the House comes back into the session, then the fresh notices have to be issued. Unlike India, in Britain, when the prorogation is done, both the bills and the notices and all other business which is pending before the House, that comes to an end. Here, the Council of Ministers will give an aid and advice to the President, and only then the President will prorogue the House. He does not do it by himself. So statement number 1 is incorrect because it says it doesn't require the advice of Council of Ministers. The President in fact requires the advice of the Council of Ministers here. Regarding the statement number 2, adjournment sine die. So it means that the sitting of the Parliament is terminated for an indefinite period of time by the presiding officer until he tells. So once the presiding officer gives the adjournment sine die, after few days after that, generally the President will issue the notification for prorogation of the session. But there is no bar on the President which says that the President cannot prorogue during the House is in session. So the President can as well prorogue the House while it is in session. Coming to statement 3, which talks about the dissolution of the Lok Sabha by the President. Yes, the Lok Sabha is subject to dissolution, and the dissolution will end the very life of the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha's dissolution can happen in two different ways. One is once the term of the Lok Sabha is expired, then it automatically dissolves. Other is when the Council of Ministers give advice to the President to dissolve the Lok Sabha, then also the Lok Sabha will be dissolved. So coming back to the question, the correct answer is C, 2 and 3 only.